Former European star, multi-time world champion, now based in Australia, Alecia Graf, and arguably the leader of female boxing here in Australia, Susie Q Ramadan. We may well be going 10 here. Our main event is for the Australian middleweight title. The champion is on a 9-fight win streak. Johannes Mwetupunga, the challenger, a former amateur star, yet to be beaten as a professional. Queenslander Jarrod Fletcher, a beauty for national honours. This one over 10 rounds. And joining me ringside in commentary, former national champion himself and Chris McCullen. Once again, our main event, hard to pick with any great confidence.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's what makes it such an appetising fight for us fight fans. You know, everybody I spoke to, no one can confidently come up and say who's going to win this fight tonight.
Contrasting styles, as we said, Jarrod Fletcher, we've seen him since mid-2009, an amateur superstar here against Ryan Kopic early days. He has grown so much as a professional since.
Yeah, he has, and he's he's a great boxer already, but I think we'll see the best of Jarrod Fletcher in maybe 18 months to 2 years. 180 amateur fights is a long way, to go and learning to become a good pro, but it's a great prospect, that's for sure. 13 fights, 11 victories, and 7 inside the distance for his opponent, Johannes Mwetupunga. Not known as a big banger, but he certainly did his thing over Omar Sheikh last time we saw him. Yeah, he did, certainly, and obviously that night Omar is in our team, and our plan was not to stay in front of Mwetupunga. He's a big, strong guy. Try and work off the angles. About round 5, Omar started to stop doing that and relying on his eye. Didn't use his feet the way he should have, and Fletcher's got to be careful of that tonight.
It was the first 6 rounds, as we can see here. It was Omar Sheikh. However, at the end of the 6th, this blast from the Rock, Dave Hedgecock, and this was what was to follow. A devastating night in the career of young Omar Sheikh. A tremendous victory, a huge triumph, and another title defence for Johannes Mwetupunga. Now, a semi-main event tonight, the girls stepping back inside the centre ring, 2 very talented, elite athletes.
Yeah, I think, here in Australia, you'd go a long way to find a fight as good as this, whether it be now, in the past, present, future. And if you look at both girls, 47 and 3, only losses coming from a world title fight, so it should be a good fight tonight.
We look forward to your comments throughout the course of the evening. A 4 live fight card coming your way on Australia's sports leader Fox Sports, and it's showtime. The Melbourne Pavilion plays host to another night of professional boxing. Friday Night Fights returns to your screen wherever you may be watching live around Australia on Australia's sports leader, who is ramping up. Winter sports coming your way with Super 15 this weekend, NRL next weekend, and of course Fox Footy launching its own channel, every game live, uninterrupted and in high definition. Whatever your fancy, whatever your sport, we've got it covered. Let's kick it off in the cruiserweight division, a trans-Tasman battle, Oscar Siale and Kane Watts. Siale, 11 years the senior, is also conceding 7 centimetres in height, 7 centimetres in reach, and the best part of 3 kilograms on the scales. It is our opener. Let's head centre ring to Mr. Howard Lee.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Melbourne Pavilion, the mecca of boxing in Melbourne, Victoria. Brian Armatruda, Barry Michael Sports and Simmons Homes welcome you to the Melbourne Pavilion for the first big show in Victoria for 2012. We kick off the evening with 6 rounds of international cruiserweight boxing. With you welcome in the red corner from Kalgoorlie, Western Australia, Oscar Siale. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome in the blue corner from Brighton, Victoria, Sugar Sweet Kane Watts. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. 6 rounds of international cruiserweight boxing. When the bell tolls, your man in charge of the action, Ignatius Miscellatus. Judges, Malcolm Bullner, Andrew Campbell, Samantha Bullner. Ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis. Timekeepers at the bell, Chris Anderson Jr. and Tom Davis. Introducing first in the red corner, from Kalgoorlie, Western Australia, via Auckland, New Zealand, head coach Steve Nesbitt. A professional record of 24 fights, 13 wins, 11 losses, 4 inside the distance. At 87.30 kilograms, sea blue trunks with white trim, fondly known as The Rock, Oscar Siale. Across the ring in the blue corner, with Lim Checker, former Aussie champ, joining Victoria's 2011 Personality of the Year, Ray Giles. This young man from Brighton, Victoria. He's a neighbour of Harry Kuehl and Shane Warne. At 90.20 kilograms, a perfect record of 7 fights, 7 wins, 3 inside the distance. Wearing gold trunks with black trim. They call him Sugar Sweet Kane Watts. Here's Ignatius Miscellatus with referee's instructions.
Oscar. Kane. Oscar. Now I explained the rules to you in the change rooms, right? No holding whatsoever. We understand that? Okay, protect yourselves all times, touch gloves, and good luck.
Ignatius Miscellatus is our third man inside the ring. Our 3 ringside judges, Andrew Campbell, Malcolm Bullner and Samantha Bullner. Hope you've had a wonderful week. Wherever you may be watching and whatever you've been doing. It's time now to keep Fox Sports on for the next 48 hours. You have our permission, and get your sports fix on Australia's sports leader. We kick tonight off a 4 live fight card with a cruiserweight contest. New Zealand representative in the blue and white trunks, representing Australia in yellow and black. Oscar Siale against Kane Watts. Right-hander versus a left-hander. The left-hander, the southpaw, is Siale. Watts trying to double up the jab very early on here, trying to get over that lead shoulder, that right shoulder of the big tough Kiwi who now bases himself in Kalgoorlie, Western Australia.
Holding, it's working there. Let it go, boys. Let it go.
Oscar Siale, not a great record, in particular in recent times, Chris, but this guy maybe too tough for his own good.
Yeah, well, one thing we do know about Oscar Siale is he's one tough guy and with a massive heart, and he'll be in this fight for as long as he can last. And look, I guess the question is how, is Kane going to handle Siale as a lefty? Oh, and a good left hand from Siale.
If you wind back the Friday night fight clock a little bit, you will remember Oscar Siale and Dominic Vey. An absolute war at Penrith. And there was plenty of claret on that night, and already some trickling down the side of the face of Oscar Siale. A head clash there, accidental. Has opened up a cut.
That certainly was one of the toughest fights you'll see here on Fox Sports. Oscar Siale, Dominic Vey. Oh, good right hand down the middle from Watts.
Let it go, boys. Let it go.
We haven't seen Kane since August of last year with a 6th-round unanimous decision victory over Jay Bryce in this very building.
There you go, there you go. Get your head up, Oscar. Books.
Has fought guys like Adam Forsyth, Peter Cronje, Danny Price, Dominic Vey, amongst others, has Oscar Siale. The Rock.
Don't hold him, don't hold him.
The nose is bloody. The eye is
when
bloody.
When you got him in that arm, don't punch, okay? Keep your head up, Oscar. Box.
30 seconds remaining in the opening round.
Watts avoiding the action early here from the pressure of Siale holding centre ring. Watts moving around the outside, trying to catch Siale out as he moves. He stops and pounces. Tries to catch Siale out as he comes forward.
The bell sounds to end round number 1. Back to the corners we go, and it's time to tend to some wounds. Look at the head clash there in that opening round. It's like two rhinos butting each other.
And as we say a lot here, you know, in the call throughout the year, or past year, we'll see that a lot with the Orthodox and Southpaw.
That cutter's open straight up. First contact. Round number 2. Siale predominantly with the ring dominance here, a sign of respect from Kane Watts, who has 7 fights, 7 wins, 3 inside the distance.
Let it go, let it go, let it go. Oscar, when you're going down here, back in here, okay? Let's go, box.
I think Watts has got to be careful. As I said earlier, he's moving around and trying to pounce on Siale. But when he does, Siale's staying there, and Kane Watts is coming in at a hard pace. He's got to watch his head doesn't collect Siale's, because there'll be a lot worse cuts than the one we see at the moment on Oscar Siale if it doesn't change.
Ooh. Watts stumbles here a little bit, so too the referee. It was like the 3 of them were in an ice skating rink temporarily. I think Oscar was the only one that had traction. The cruiserweight division, governed by the 90.71 kilo limit, 200 pound or 14 stone 4, if that makes a little more sense to you.
Oh, it's working there.
Watts crunch into the body. 2 beautiful rib shots. Physical, fast-paced match, and Watts doesn't really want any part of that inside work. He's happy to keep it from the outside, as you would against a veteran like Siale.
As he does as well. He comes in always. He gets caught with the left hand from Siale, but he grabs hold of Siale straight away as they get in close. There it is again. Then he'll try and work off that.
Inside the final minute, round number 2.
When you get it done, hit the back of the head, okay?
Wednesday the 7th of March, a massive, massive pay-per-view on Fox Sports venues and main event television around this wonderful country of ours. Daniel Giel defending the IBF middleweight title. Billy Dibb defending the IBF featherweight title. 2 on the one night and a cracking undercard. Simply for you purists and sporting fans alike, it is a night you cannot miss. 2 IBF titles, the one night, beamed live around Australia from Tasmania on Fox Sports venues and main event television, the only place you'll see it.
Oh, short left sort of up hook from Siale.
Back to the corners we go. 2 rounds down, potentially 4 remain.
Some of the action that round number 2 produced, and it was a sidestep from the referee. Here comes the big left hand down the middle from Siale.
Round number 3 coming your way. First fight of the night. In the division that domestically Danny Green has dominated for the last couple of years. What is the future for Danny Green? Nothing confirmed at this stage. Like anything though in this industry of ours, everyone has their opinion and is not going to be argued. Whatever Danny does, as long as it's the best thing for Danny, I think he's got the country's support in whatever he decides to choose. Certainly has mine. He's tough-headed enough to make the decision he wants and not listening to any of us mugs.
Yeah, that he will, and he's got to take, you know, he's got a family, young family, he's got to take all that into account. Certainly has nothing left to prove here in Australia.
Absolutely not. Siale and Watts, a little scrappy but wailing away. Watts defending with the right glove there, defending off the left of Oscar Siale, who just chases.
Siale's had a great start in the first minute here of round number 3. He's had Watts on the back foot, but he's caught Watts a few times. Watts has tried to lock him up straight away.
Originally from Auckland, New Zealand, he would have been a national champion at chasings as a kid around the schoolyard because he's perfected it inside the professional ring. Work on the inside from Oscar. 4th ranked cruiserweight in New Zealand. In the blue and white here tonight.
Oh, nice combination from Oscar Siale as Watts tries to come back.
Uppercut there from Siale. And I think maybe only one of the 3 ringside judges would have seen that uppercut. It was short, it was on the blind side, but it was effective.
Watts has got to be really careful. He's had a couple of warnings for holding, and I think he's, the referee's patience are wearing thin.
Watts changing levels, going to the midsection on his first punch there. Siale opts to stay a little higher.
Oh, the heads come together and the left uppercut scores for Siale.
Shoulders collided, cheeks collided again. This is very physical and fought at an incredible pace for 2 big men. Bell sounds, 3 rounds down, 3 more to go, if in fact we do go to the judges' scorecards.
As we have a look at round number 3 and the heads come together a few too many times there in round number 3.
Non-stop. Where the forehead of Kane Watts meeting and greeting the chin of Oscar Siale. Ready for round number 4, our main event tonight, a little bit later on. It is the challenger Jarrod Fletcher, the champion Johannes Mwetupunga for the coveted Australian middleweight championship. A belt that has been worn by a who's who of Australian boxing in decades past. Tonight, one will walk away with that 16 pounds of gold.
It was a great right hand from Kane Watts to start the round. I'd like to see him use that left hand to get in behind the right hand. He leaps from a little bit too far out in distance, which causes him to fall short sometimes. All the heads come together. Just poke that jab out a few times, use your feet to get in and send the right hand down the middle.
Boys are busy. It is Watts, black and gold.
Perfect illustration, a little bit too far out when he leads with the right hand.
Statistically, Kane Watts with a 7-centimetre height and reach advantage. He stands 6'2" in the old language, 187 centimetres. And for our stats and our bios, as always, we'd like to thank Tony Nobbs, a crucial member of the Friday Night Fights team and a good mate of all of us.
That's better work from Watts. He's trying to go down to the body a little bit now. Probably a really good move at this stage of the fight.
Kane Watts walked into it. Very stiff shot there. Right hand from Oscar Siale. In fact, before that exchange, the last 3 punches were all the Kiwis.
And that just shows the experience of Oscar Siale. He may not have the best winning record, but 24 fights under his belt.
Yep.
Kane Watts.
It's a warning. Sick warning. Back of the head.
Kane Watts' last 3 attacks had gone right hand to the body, and Siale picked that up and caught him as he come in with it for the 3rd time. Oh, good short shot from Watts.
Kane Watts walks into a little left uppercut from Oscar Siale. The crowd in attendance at the Pavilion, they're buying into this big time. Nice little slip there from Kane Watts. Took the punch on the shoulder.
Good right hand from Watts, and another one.
Stand back, stand back.
Round 4.
2 very tired young men walking back and then slumping into their corners. The penultimate round of this 6-round war, we should have expected nothing less when Oscar Siale, the tough Kiwi, occupies one corner. That's him in the blue and white trunks, rising star Kane Watts, who is undefeated in 7 fights, out of the blue corner in the gold and black.
Good left hand from Siale to start, and Steve Nesbitt in the corner of Siale really trying to spur him on.
The pace of fight has been good.
Siale, great attack, and the dangers of Kane Watts leading him with that head again. He's got to be very careful for 2 reasons. You don't want to see a cut, and you don't want to lose a point.
Nice left hook there from Kane Watts. Big bombing right hand. Watts unloading now. Siale back against the ropes. Almost a minute into round number 5. Watts. Oh, hits reverse.
Good short left hook from Kane Watts as he caught Siale coming in.
I don't know what you have to do to stop Oscar Siale.
Well, Dominic Vey tried. Brad Pitt got him, but I think that was the effects of the Dominic Vey fight. Well, although I'm not discrediting Brad Pitt because he is one hell of a fighter.
One of the elite level boxers in Australia, Brad Pitt, one of a number of them.
Yeah, can't wait to see more of him throughout 2012. Good defence from Kane Watts. Always he eats a couple there.
Siale again with that lone punch, that left hand, and he's had some success with that. It's almost as though Watts is looking for the jab, not seeing the straight come through.
Yep.
Final minute. Oh, the head of Watts gets rocked there by Siale. Both men battling fatigue.
Steve Nesbitt and his team in the corner of Oscar Siale done a great job with that cut. No blood at all coming out of it now.
Kane Watts there with a nice authoritative left hook.
Beautiful shot from Watts.
Looking up at the big screens here at the Pavilion, of which there are many, to try and get a gauge on just how long is left in the round. There he goes again.
Usually means fatigue.
Okay, 5 rounds, and it's been brutal. It's been fast-paced. Let's let the boys have 60 seconds rest, and we're going to rip in one more time.
I don't know what you think you're doing, son. Give me the back, though. Listen to me. For this fucking round, you've got 1 round to go. Show a little bit of fucking form. Get inside, work your hands inside. Don't blow it. He's whole on his hip. You've let him go, and he's itching the body. For fuck's sake. Fight the way we train. I know you're tired. He's tired too.
As we have a look, some of the action from round number 5, and a beautiful overhand right from Kane Watts, who immediately grabs on. And an equally as good left hook from Oscar Siale.
Battling fatigue, and they're not into their second wind. It's about wind 4 or 5 now as Kane Watts and Oscar Siale touch them up centre ring. 6th and final round.
Experienced trainer Ray Giles realising the urgency needed from Kane Watts.
Watts down to a knee there. Hope you're enjoying Fox Sports Friday Night Fights coming your way again in the month of March. Big show live from Brisbane with national and state titles, several of them on the undercard. Good connection there. Great opener.
Siale hasn't stopped chasing Watts. Watts is fatigued, trying his best, digs a few in and cops a couple back from Siale.
2 minutes remaining. They have not stopped.
Oh, left hand down the pipe from Siale. Watts needs to keep him off. He needs to throw that jab a little bit more. Give Siale something to look at.
Oscar just looks fresher the more rounds he has under his feet. A big right hand from Kane Watts. One of the better punches of the fight.
Certainly his better shot in the last 3 rounds. Kane Watts, a beautiful right hand and a good jab. He needs more of it, I think, Kane Watts.
A little bit of a do-si-do there from the fighters.
Siale with a strong and stiff jab. Look at Siale. Almost builds up a little jog over 4 or 5 steps to engage again.
I guess this is the difference. Kane Watts in a building stage of, you know, his early part of professional career. Oscar Siale, proven 10, 12 round fighter.
There we go.
Watts comes reeling back with 30 seconds remaining. A lunging right hand.
Again, same as the fourth round, fifth round. A little bit of fatigue coming in for Kane Watts.
Takes another look up at the big screen, does Sugar Kane. Owns and operates Watts' complete plumbing. He's had a clean out tonight of the system.
Has a look, he might have one last dig here, Watts.
Oh, Siale winding them up, letting them go. And the boys have enjoyed their work tonight. 18 minutes of cruiserweight action to kick us off on Friday Night Fights. Exhausted. Kane Watts into the corner there with a great Ray Giles. Linjeka, the former national champ, over there in the corner as well.
The sixth and final round. Siale stalked. Tried to find Watts.
Kane Watts would love to make a climb in the national rankings. Does he go to 8 fights, 8 wins tonight? We will find out. This is eyes of the start of the month. Daniel Lamar is the champion, courtesy of that victory over Moston Neiman last Friday night. Brad Pitt is there. Anthony McCracken, Peter Cronje, Victor Roganov, Moston Neiman and Dave Alua undefeated at 6 with 6 fights, 6 wins and 5 inside the distance. Is Kane Watts going to force his way into that Super 6? Maybe tonight is the start. Let's go centre ring. Howard Lee, let's make it official.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a big bang. Thank you, Chris. We have a unanimous decision from our 3 judges at ringside. Judges Andrew Campbell and Samantha Bullner both had it 58-56. Final card, Malcolm Bullner, 59-55. Unanimous points winner, red corner, Oscar the Rock Siale.
Unanimous points winner to Oscar Siale over the previously undefeated Kane Watts here at the Pavilion in Melbourne. That is a big victory and a timely one for the 40-year-old Kiwi. Still to come on this edition of Friday Night Fights, Rocky Jerkic, one of the rising stars in the industry, takes on the banger Dinesh Kanth. Then Alecia Graf and Susie Ramadan do battle for the vacant WBC Female International Bantamweight title. Of course, the winner of that guaranteed a spot at the big belt. And our main event tonight, Jarrod Fletcher and Johannes Mwetupunga for the Australian middleweight title. And we will speak to both boxers live after this break on Fox Sports. Australia's sports leader Fox Sports presenting Friday Night Fights. We started with a cracker, winner via unanimous points decision in the cruiserweight division, the tough Kiwi Oscar Siale. The first of 4 live fights from the Pavilion here in Melbourne, our main event for the Australian middleweight title. Joining me now, the challenger, Jarrod Fletcher. This is what every pro dreams of early in their career. Tonight you have the chance.
Mate, yeah, it's been a long road for me, so the big amateur career, and I've been chasing this for a while, so I'm really looking forward to tonight.
180 odd amateur contests, but the learning curve as a professional in 10 fights has been even steeper.
Mate, it has. It's a big change from the amateurs to the pros, so I'm really starting to find my feet, and I'm feeling good, so I'm looking forward to putting on a great show tonight.
Step up in class, isn't it, from who you've been before?
Yeah, definitely. He's a tough boy, Mwetupunga, so I'm ready to go the 10 rounds with him, but our preparation's been spot on, so I'm ready to go.
With your preparation, a lot of sparring with Les Sherrington, one of Queensland's finest, that beneficial in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Les is a tall boy like Mwetupunga, so we've got about probably 40 rounds in, and it's been good quality sparring, so like I said, I'm feeling great. My preparation's been spot on, and I'm ready to rip and tear tonight.
We've followed you since June '09. Great to see you in the main event, the Showcase Showdown tonight, and we wish you all the best.
It's good to be back on Fox. Have a good night, guys.
Jarrod Fletcher, one half of our main event tonight for the Australian middleweight belt. He is 7 years the junior, conceding 1 centimetre in height, 1 centimetre in reach, and, well, a bead or two of sweat only on the scales. To the champion, Johannes Tito Mwetupunga. Nice enough to join us now. You've got that look in the eye again, the same you had Omar Sheikh night. How have you been? Because it's been a while since we've seen you.
It's been a while, man. I've been looking forward to get a fight, but unfortunately I get a shot for this fight now.
An amazing preparation. You've been back and forth to Sydney and sparring with Daniel Gill. Trent Broadhurst has been there. Quite a camp, quite a workout for all of you.
Of course, to prepare myself to see myself I'm ready, I have to spar with the best. It's the only way I can see myself I'm there when I spar with the best.
How big an advantage is your experience tonight over Jarrod?
Jarrod is a really good amateur fighter, but I'm not the amateur champion, I'm a professional champion. So I know how can I handle this kid. I try to fight, and I'm waiting for everybody the best.
Always great to see you, champ, and you may well still be the champ when we go off air tonight.
Of course. I just want for, first of all, before I go, to say thanks for my sponsorship, like in Dingani, Cafe and the restaurants. Yep. My trainer Jones to be behind me, and David is not here today, my promoter, Brian, and my sponsor, Mr. Brian Johnson.
All the very best tonight, and we look forward to the main event.
Thanks, man.
Tito Mwetupunga, the champion for our main event tonight. But next up, it is a super middleweight contest. 76.2 kilograms is the limit. We are scheduled for 18 minutes. Rocky Jerkic from Redfern, New South Wales, undefeated as a professional, up against Dinesh, the last up victor over the very talented Callan Orchard. Taking a look at the mats that really matter, 7 years separates between the two, only 1 centimetre in height and reach, and absolutely nothing on the scales. Super middleweight action, it's time to go to the ring.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the 6th round to middleweight boxing. Bout number 2 on Fox Sports live around Australia. Would you welcome in the red corner from Redfern, New South Wales, Rocky welcome in the blue corner from Hawthorn, Victoria, Dinesh Kane. Come on down. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, give it a big bang. Thank you. Brian Armatruda, Barry Michael Sports, Simmons Homes, welcome you back to Centre Ring in Melbourne, Victoria. You're at the Melbourne Pavilion for 6 rounds of international middleweight boxing. Would you welcome in the red corner from Redfern, New South Wales, head coach George Reno, working out of the Tony Mundine Senior Gymnasium in Redfern, New South Wales. In amateur boxing, a mighty 104 fights, 98 wins, 6 losses. Unbeaten in professional boxing, 2 bouts, 2 wins, 1 inside the distance at 71.90 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome the new kid on the block, the Rock on the block, black and gold, Rocky Jerkic. And across the ring in the blue corner with Brendan the Pacer and the Silver Fox, Paul Fifield. Born in Sri Lanka, now living Hawthorn, Victoria, in professional boxing. 3 bouts, 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 inside the distance. A stablemate of budding heavyweight prospect, Big Bad Barry Hall, at 71.80 kilograms, red trunks with white trim, fondly known as the Tamil Tiger, Dinesh Kane. Referee Ignatius Miscellaneous. Judges, Team Bullner, Malcolm and Samantha. Andrew Campbell, your 3rd judge. Let's get it on, Ignatius.
He's in the change room. When I say break, I mean break. Understand? Keep your hands up all the time. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Eddie Sarko. Good evening, Eddie.
Team Bullner. Andrew, you're right.
Rocky Jerkic.
Chris Anderson and Junior.
Dinesh Kanth.
Team Wallace.
Ready to do their thing in the super middleweight division, 6 3-minute rounds. 76.2 kilos, 168 pounds, 12 stone even. Kanth is the banger, that's him in the red and the white. Jerkic is the silky skills in the black trunks out of the Tony Mundine gym. And Kanth has been rocked and then calls it on.
I like the patience from Jerkic.
Throwing bombs. Kanth rocked once, dropped.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Dinesh, keep your hands up, okay? Over there.
Keep the hands up. These 2 boys are going headhunting. Well, that's slow. Dinesh down just a little. He looks to have his legs about him. Not for too much longer. And it is over. Rocky Jerkic, a massive victory. A KO in the first round with Dinesh Kanth. Fell twice. And Jerkic now 3 fights, 3 wins, 2 inside the distance, but he's yet to complete 6 full rounds. Wow.
The right hand was a little bit too low from Kanth. As we have a look at what happened here, and it's the left hook from Rocky Jerkic.
That's the one that stunned.
They're calling him the new kid from the block. And here's why. Here, wait for this one.
Just when you thought your head was spinning, we'll stop it.
Amazing finishing instincts from Rocky Jerkic.
What a young talent.
Yeah, certainly his best performance to date, Rocky Jerkic.
You know, there's one very interested onlooker watching up from the south side of Sidley. Anthony the Man Mundine, who has got enormous raps on this young kid.
Yeah, certainly has. I spoke to George Reno today. He said all the camp have got great raps on him.
Good news here is Dinesh Kanth getting to his feet, and he is okay with a little bit of a headache, though. Omar Sheikh is the current champion, Sir Janik, Jamie Pittman, Lee Sherrington, Zach Awa, Junior Talapau, and Nader Hamden. What a lineup it is. It's 76.2 kilos around Australia at the moment. How long before The Rock enters the fray? Let's go centre ring and make it official with Howard Lee.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The time, 52 seconds into round one. Your winner by knockout. The new kid on the block, the Rock on the block, explosive Rocky Jerkic.
Rocky Jerkic, 3 fights, 3 wins, 2 inside the distance, and not a hot, but a white-hot young prospect in Aussie boxing, and from all reports, just as good outside of the ring. What a lovely young man. Next time on Friday Night Fights, what a night. Michael van Nimwegen, Omar Sheikh for the Australian super middleweight title. A national belt as our headline act, and an unbelievable undercard with not 1, not 2, but 3 Queensland titles. Flanagan Maley, Carol Hogan, and King Hill Jr. That is Friday, the 23rd of March, live at 8 p.m, Fox Sports 1 and 1 HD. Australia's sports leader, presenting the very best of the domestic product. Hope you're enjoying all the action tonight so far from the Pavilion. We'll be back after the break as the show rolls on. Welcome back to Fox Sports Friday Night Fights. We were looking forward to Rocky Jerkic being tested by the banger, the local guy, Dinesh Kanth. But Jerkic, it was demolition time in round number 1. Dinesh Kanth KO'd, and big time. 2 fights down, 2 remaining, and a reminder, a not-so-subtle one, that on Wednesday, the 7th of March, live from Tasmania, not 1, but 2 IBF world titles are on the line. Main Event Television and Fox Sports Venues, the only place you can see the action. Daniel Geale and Osu Adama and Billy the Kid Dibb. He is there as well, against a very tough little Mexican, and there is some bad blood, Eduardo Escobedo. Live at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It is Wednesday the 7th of March, live from Tasmania, and again the only place you can see it is Main Event TV and Fox Sports Venues. The second defence for Daniel Geale. Chris, he was so effective, so controlled in his first defence. Watching it now in his victory over Ermaceli Albert.
Yeah, I think that's Daniel Geale as a person. Everything he does is in great control. He's a hard trainer, he's dedicated, and more importantly, he's humble outside the ring.
He was clinical, absolutely clinical. In the victory over Albert, is not looking any further than Wednesday the 7th, but is prepared to travel, and now against whoever, whenever, however, and progress his career. Such a rare talent, the real deal, Daniel Geale. Full house signers up once again at the Pavilion. Many of them here to see our next matchup. It is for the vacant WBC International Bantamweight title. It is effectively a world title eliminator between 4-time world champion, former European, now based on the south coast of New South Wales, Alecia Graf, against Susie Q. Ramadan, the flag bearer of women's boxing in Australia, many would suggest. Looking at the tail of the tape, and nothing separates as far as date of birth is concerned. However, the height advantage by 7 centimetres to Graf, the reach advantage to Ramadan by 5, and both girls within 0.42 of a kilo of one another. A vacant belt, but more importantly, the opportunity at the WBC World Bantamweight title awaits. It's time for Alecia Graf and Susie Ramadan. Let's go to Howard.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Centre Ring at the Melbourne Pavilion for a much-anticipated WBC Dual Championship fight. Would you welcome in the red corner, now based in Wollongong, New South Wales, now Wollongong after living in Germany. Okay, she'll be fighting out the red corner. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome in the blue corner from Reservoir, Victoria, Susie Q. Ramadan. Ladies and gentlemen, our semi-main event. Brian Armatruda, Barry Michael Sports, Simmons Homes, Melbourne Pavilion. The women are taking professional and amateur boxing by storm. 2012 sees women included in the London Olympics for the first time in more than 100 years. Your supervisor for this bout, representing the World Boxing Council, Mr. Frank Quill. Ladies and gentlemen, these ladies have met 3 common opponents. This bout for the WBC International Bantamweight title fight and for the WBC World Bantamweight title eliminator. 10 rounds of boxing. Your timekeeper at the bell is Chris Anderson Jr. Ringside physicians, Dr. Harris, Dr. Lewis. Your judges at ringside, Frank Hadley, Andrew Campbell, Samantha Bullner. Your supervisor, I mentioned, Frank Quill. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Would you welcome first, on my right, wearing red, from Gomel, Belarus. Then she lived in Germany, now fighting out of Wollongong, New South Wales. Tonight in the corner, Colin Fogliani and Stuart O'Connell. She's the current WBU and WBF World Super Bantamweight Women's Champion. Previously held the Global Boxing Union World Super Flyweight Championship and the WIBF World Super Flyweight Crown. Manager, Ms. Anja Gantner at ringside. Ladies and gentlemen, at 53.52 kilograms, with a famous sporting German name. 27 fights, 25 wins, 2 losses, 10 by knockout. Would you welcome to Melbourne, Australia, the Tigress, Alecia Graf. And across the ring in the blue corner, Steve Stenborg and world champion Barry Michael. Born West Melbourne, just around the corner from here, lives Reservoir. Ladies and gentlemen, at the North Melbourne Academy, are proud to unveil the former IBF Women's Bantamweight Champion of the world. She's held 3 other major titles, 53.10 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, wearing white with a touch of blue and black and red. Would you welcome Victoria's Susie Q. Ramadan. Malcolm Mulder to handle this big bout. Here we go, Malcolm, proudly wearing the WBC colours. Let's get it on tonight.
Welcome to centering, ladies. I want a good clean fight from both you ladies. Shake hands now, come on Friday at the mill. Good luck to both you fighters.
No lack of intensity, no lack of intention in our semi-main event of the evening. 10 2-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. 53.5 kilos, 118 pounds, or 8 stone 6. Elite level athletes about to do their thing. Out of the red corner, originally from Belarus, then Germany, now New South Wales, Australia. It's Alecia Graf in the white and the red. Susie Q. Ramadan. Melbourne born and bred in the white and the blue.
Susie's a very fast fighter on her feet, moves well around the ring. I think what she's got to look at tonight is not throw out the ones. Get out the punches in combinations, because Graf's got a great eye. She sees it, she slips, and she'll counter before you know it. That's good work from Susie Q.
Neither lady stopped before. However, Ramadan suffered her lone loss in 22 fights last start. A split and controversial 10-round points decision over Yasmin Rivas in Mexico for that coveted IBF World Bantamweight title. 2 right-handers. The girls not afraid to throw them early. The second minute of the opening round, a body shot there by Graf.
Yeah, nice hook to the body by the Belarusian. Send it downstairs. She's got to come back up top off it, but...
Has that height advantage, does Alecia Graf?
She does, but it's Ramadan getting through with the jabs at the moment. Although I'll put the mocker on us.
Trying to change levels there, Alecia Graf. A slip there from Susie.
Box.
Two complete professionals. High-pressure fight and have handled themselves with a great deal of class and dignity leading into tonight's event.
Started nice and fast, and that was the right hook to the body from Graf. You'll see Susie Q have a bit of a slip.
Round number 2 coming your way. We are scheduled for 10. Abbreviated rounds in the female division, just the 2 minutes on the clock, not the 3.
Good footwork there from Graf.
Both girls very light on their feet, very quick on their feet as well.
Just got to watch the head coming in there a little bit. Oh!
When I say break, I mean break, and you don't box till I say so. Is that clear? Okay. Box.
Tempers tested early. The raging bull, Malcolm Bullner, stepping between and laying down the law to the ladies.
Oh, once again, good footwork. I like the footwork of Graf.
Oh, good work. That was beautiful from Ramadan, who was just a little out of range as she came in. Missed with the first 2, but she hadn't loaded up, Chris, so she could keep the fluency of her hands. She found the target zone with the 3rd punch of the combination.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Once you start to load them up, the feet plant. Susie did great work working in. Didn't find her, but as you said, didn't load it up, so she found her on the 3rd.
Good upper body movement from both girls and some big shots being fired away. Graf in against the rope, spins out nicely. Tries to restart, tries to reset. Bell sounds and Susie thought it was on still. 2 down.
From round number 2. Gets a little spiteful at times. Ramadan reacts
aggressively. Not going to take a backward step at all.
Good combinations from both girls. Good dig to the body from Ramadan, mixing it up, going up, coming down.
Seconds out, round 3.
It's about combination punches, whether it's male or female. It's about variation, and both girls thus far have showed good combination, good variation in what they've been achieving in the opening 4 minutes. they're just wailing away on one another.
Graf's got a really good double jab. She needs to use that a little bit more and keep the fast feet Susie Ramadan off her. Oh, the left hook from Graf and the counter from Ramadan.
Big shots from both girls. Ramadan to the body, doubling up right, lead, left, second shot.
Yeah, good left rip from Susie Q.
They just do not stop the elite level women. And that's what we've got here.
Good head movement from Susie Q, but good footwork from Graf, and there's that double jab.
It was good from Susie and good defensive strategy there from Alecia. And Susie knew what she had done wrong. Susie almost acknowledged it halfway through the movement, saying to herself, no, no, no. You know what's right, you know what's wrong, and you know how to get there.
That's right.
Seconds remaining, round number 3. High pace and physically draining, so far anyway. And a ton of skill.
Oh, good left hook from Graf. She works back in, Ramadan down a little bit too low, can't do much from there.
Alecia thus far has shown us why she's a 4-time world champion. And why she may well be ready to tackle it again. WBC honours.
Getting frustrated. She's trying to fight you in power. When you're inside, nice shots on the inside, Susie and Lane. Don't rush it. Nice tight defense on the inside. And then look off her. She's getting into it. Right on the body, right on the body. No, you're right. Next round, after the next round, it's classic.
Great attack from both girls. Started with Graf, finished with Susie Q.
Round 4.
Former world champ Barry Michael in the corner, along with Steve Stenborg and Julie Ramadan, the sister of Susie.
Got a couple of hats on tonight, Barry, part of the promotion team. Some corner work.
And head of entertainment here at the Pavilion.
The interesting part there in the red corner with Alecia Graf, she was up with about 20 seconds gone. She was up on her feet for the rest of the round, bouncing around the rest of the break, sorry.
Sam Solomon in the auditorium tonight. Of course, Sam and Garth, congratulations to both fighters, both camps, for their performances last weekend. Sam winning the match. Garth and Father Barry putting on, from all reports, a wonderful promotion. Homebush in Sydney, and stepping up to the plate, one of the best in the world in the King. Speaking of one of the best in the world, hoping to become, is Stevie Wills in South Africa right now for his IBO light welterweight world title event. Oh, challenging Kazar Mabuza. We wish Stevie all the very best.
You're wrestling now, not boxing. Susie, you're wrestling now, not boxing. Okay, keep it clean. Right, box.
Susie taking the biggest shots of the fight there before that little wrestle to the ground, and I think she's in trouble.
She was tagged there with a strong and straight right hand, and again from Graf. Ramadan on the back foot.
She's got to keep those hands nice and tight, Susie Q.
Got to keep them tight, and has got to keep that left up, because she's taken too many straight right hands this round alone.
Both girls having success when they start down, straight to the body and coming back up with the hook. Both girls landing it at will. Got to keep those hands up. a look at the big right hand from Graf. There it is, one. Here the girls get a little untidy.
Seconds round to approach round 5. Let's get involved here with the Tigers and Susie Q.
Here we go, round number 5 of 10 in the bantamweight division for the vacant WBC International bantamweight title, effectively, and more importantly, a world title eliminator, Susie Ramadan, in the white and the blue, Alecia Graf in the white and the red. Another quality domestic level fight. What about this for a lineup? Zach Awad, Les Piper tonight. Brett W. Smith, Mick Shaw, Joel Brunker, Matty Powell, Mark Demori, Rob Callaway. Plenty happening in Aussie boxing, and the quality has risen dramatically, and we are seeing that in ring at the moment.
And none more so than our next fight.
What a beauty. Stick around for our main event, the Australian middleweight title, Johannes Mwetupunga and Jarrod Fletcher. Left jab, trying to snap his way to an Australian title.
And watch the back of the head. Box.
Getting a little frustrated here, Susie.
Yeah, Graf's got to stay focused. She's dropping her hands there. She's probably had the best 2 rounds of the fight so far, rounds 4 and 5, and don't want to lose concentration now.
Body shot there. Oh, Ramadan was a big one as Graf goes headhunting. The eyes of Susie starting to swell. You can see the confidence in the stance of Alecia Graf. The hands are down. She's not concerned in getting tagged at the moment.
No, she knows she's the stronger fighter out there at the moment. Susie Q, the faster feet, and she's got to use that to her advantage. Oh, big shot from Susie Q and equally big from Graf.
And a full house here at the Pavilion. Loved the resurgence there late in the round from Susie Ramadan.
The judges scores on the end of round 4.
That round means much better.
Last time we saw her out, victory over Michelle Preston. An undercard on Main Event Boxing. They went to the judges' scorecards in December of 2010. Endurance isn't going to be an issue. We saw it that night, just how capable this young lady was. And in fact, how much she rose to the challenge the longer the fight went.
Round 6.
Amazing tenacity, incredible determination, and a desire second to none. Young Susie Ramadan. Debuted back in December of 2007 down the road at Knox here. Nice left hook from Graf, from Ramadan, should I say. The straight shot from Graf.
It was good footwork from Susie, and that's what she needs to do. Try and catch Alecia Graf out with her feet.
Susie, a 3-time Australian Female Boxer of the Year. Successive years, 2008, 9 and 10. Nice short right from Susie Q.
Much better round from Susie Q. Round number 6. Oh, good left hook.
Yeah, on exit too. Changing levels nicely is Susie. Going to the body with a driving right and coming over the top with the left hook. She changes the combination this time around.
That's what I said earlier. Both girls are very open to the, when you go downstairs with the straight, come upstairs with the hook, or even the right hand off that. Both girls very open to that shot.
right now, the final 30 seconds of round number 6, scheduled for 10.
Oh, big shot.
Ramadan again walking into that right hand of Alecia Graf. And she is excelling with that right hand, in particular, late in the round.
Well, Susie was winning the first 3 quarters of that round.
Had she done enough in the opening 90 seconds? Susie Ramadan backs away to reset.
Round 6.
6 rounds in the books. It's not slowing down at all here at the Pavilion.
International bantamweight belts. The vivacious Holly Simmons and Nicola Charles will slip through the ropes to make a presentation of the WBC International bantamweight title belt at the completion of this international fight.
So we have a look, both girls landing good shots in round number 6, and there's the shots from Graf. That was the barrage in the last 30 seconds from Graf. Graf digs them downstairs.
Seconds as we approach round 7, scheduled 10 rounds.
An incredible test of endurance.
In the red corner, Alecia Graf asked for the water bottle. The trainer didn't exactly understand, so she screamed and yelled at him. That's not good enough, Alecia Graf. That's your corner team. Respect them.
Firing away the initial shots there, Graf Ramadan. Nice cambering, turning as Graf.
Oh, great barrage from both girls.
Girls still lightning quick on their feet, despite the fact the legs feel like concrete about now. That unavoidable burning sensation that just stops you.
Good combination from Susie Q. Graf's got to get back on that double jab, put Susie on the back foot. There it is, and punch off it. She's got a great jab, Alecia Graf. I love her jab.
Ramadan rocked.
She's got the eye of the tiger, Alecia Graf.
Very composed athlete. Is the 31-year-old, originally from Belarus. Amateur career spanning 17 fights that began back in 2001, where she was voted best boxer of the tournament at the national titles in Germany.
Oh, Graf slips it in. Oh, and here comes Susie Q.
Great range of skills from both girls.
The hand-eye of Alecia Graf is unbelievable. She sees a punch, slips it, and there it is.
Oh yeah, round 7. Holly Simmons, Nicola Charles will make the presentation.
Right back, Jarrod, right back. You can later on whatever she does, Jarrod.
When you're boxing her, you beat out boxing. Keep sticking that jab. Let a couple of rounds, she's making me a bit weary.
Let's have a look at what round number 7 produced. And as Graf backs away, she gets caught. There it is from Susie Q. Graf comes straight back. The hand-eye coordination I spoke about in the round, slips, counters. Great combination from Alecia Graf.
Seconds out, we approach round 8.
Amazing cardiovascular levels of these two girls. Still look fresh-ish after all these rounds.
And the pace is just as high. It's a lot higher actually than the first round.
Both going to feel it tomorrow morning, no doubt. Graf back to camera at the moment. Ramadan in the white and blue with some work to do.
Look at the jab and good counter work from Susie Q. Good attack from Graf to start with.
An Australian and a Belarusian, but almost a Mexican standoff briefly. Ramadan wants to get out of there. She turns nicely and starts on Alecia Graf, who counters again brilliantly.
Graf has just got a real fighter's instinct about her as she takes a big left hook from Susie Q.
Second half of round number 8. No signs of slowing just yet.
Oh, the left hook from Susie Q. That's what's working. Get Graf back on the back foot. Throw your punches in combinations. This is where Graf comes on. Susie Q's got to keep doing what she was doing. Don't try just save the round, win the round. Good work from Susie Q. Graf still stalking.
Bell sounds back to that corner. This time it's Susie Q Ramadan standing before the round starts, waiting impatiently.
I was going to say much better work from Graf. Sat down, got her breath, listened to her corner, much more controlled, and that's what you need. You need to save all your energy. No use getting angry or upset in the corner. We all know you're the fighter, but you need to save that energy. Use it in the ring.
Very sign-on, isn't she, Alecia Graf? Limiting the target zone for Susie.
She's got the basic skills of the Russian fighters, the European fighters. Good balance, good eye, as Ramadan has some success.
Wailing away. Susie would love to be able to try and keep Alecia in that corner. On the restart. Tries to push her way forward, but Graf responds with a combination that drives the Victorian back out the centre ring.
There's been a shift for me. I see a change, and Susie Q seems to be back on the front foot now.
Girls have flown the flag of women's boxing, women's sport proudly and high tonight.
Oh, they plant their feet, the girls.
Plant the feet and start swinging. Good right hand from Ramadan.
Beautiful right hand. Good jab back from Graf.
10 KOs in 25 fights for Graf. 8 KOs in 22 fights for Ramadan.
You see Graf starting to really suck in the big ones now.
Oh, crippler to the rib cage from Alecia Graf. One round to go.
Come to a conclusion at the end of round 8. The judges would have awarded a draw in Moses. A draw if it had gone to the end of round 8. One judge had it, red corner, one judge had it, blue corner.
Round 9. Let's have a look at what it produced. The hand's a little bit too low on Graf as she started off with a great combination but finished well from Susie Ramadan.
Result to be presented by Holly Simmons and Nicola Jarrod.
Little whisper going around the auditorium here that after 8 rounds, the 3 judges have it square.
Wow. Well, I thought Susie Q got that last round. Yes, she does. That put her in the lead.
10th and final round coming away for the vacant WBC International Bantamweight title, the World Title Eliminator. The winner of tonight gets a shot in the very near future at the full WBC strap.
Look at both girls. Round number 10, they're still on their toes. Springing around the ring. Oh, the left hook from Graf.
A nice one from Alecia. Susie wore it well, as she has most of Alicia's big shots.
Have we got a cut? Oh!
That's Dr. Peter Lewis.
Clash of heads. Clash of heads.
Clash of heads has been ruled. Oh, it's a beauty on Alecia Graf. With just over 60 seconds remaining. That should light the fuse. Not that you need any extra.
Oh, that's a bad cut in a bad spot.
Pushing that jab hand into the nose of Susie Ramadan.
Oh, good footwork from Susie Q and great head movement from Alecia Graf as the heads come together once again. She is a real warrior, Alecia Graf. Has not phased her that cut one bit.
And with 30 seconds to go, they have planted the feet and they are standing and trading. Alecia Graf and Susie Ramadan have put on an absolute classic.
Haven't they? What? Be proud of yourselves, girls. It's a classic, like you said.
Whoever the WBC champion, wherever the WBC champion, you get the feeling they could be in for a war.
One not to miss, that's for sure. Oh, good right hand from Susie Ramadan.
And they embrace amazing sportspersonship. And as one, the pavilion stands, applauds. And in lounge rooms across Australia, They are being checked, much like Santa's list. We are checking it twice, just to make sure.
Barry Michael said this is the epic battle.
Barry Michael, former IBF world champion himself, standing alongside Susie, as nervous as he was with gloves on himself here. And this is taking an awful long time. Calculators are out from the three judges. Normally a pretty good indication that it is as tight as tight can be.
Yeah, you know, it's always close when the judging calculations take a little longer than usual. The Ramadan corner seems quite confident.
Nervous. What about the girls, Alecia and Susie? They're just saying, come on, get the numbers up, make it official. I can't bear this. This probably hurts more than anything they've done for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's something's been said because Graf doesn't look happy about something, whether the decision's already been known, but she's not happy about something. Whilst on the other side, the Ramadan corner looks quite happy.
Still waiting for the score tables.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Susie's all smiles, isn't she? She is all smiles, along with Steve Stenborg. And the wait continues. No one in the ring is comfortable at the moment.
As we have a look at Alecia Graf in the corner, the body language certainly changed, and there's an indication her corner is absolutely blowing up at the moment.
Does not look happy. Gave it her all.
Certainly did. I'd love to see a rematch.
Someone is going to go home disappointed. Who will it be?
I don't know what's going on here. Both girls seem to know what's happening.
This might be a longer count than Kevin Rudd and Julie Gillard on Monday.
Someone's got to buy these officials a calculator, because in fear of being a little nitpicky, this is bordering on the ridiculous. We know it's close.
It would have been a draw. It was level pegging, one judge.
And finally, the numbers have been handed over. Susie Ramadan, Alecia Graf, who have left it all in the ring.
We have a split decision. Once again, a big round of applause for their two warriors taking women taking by boxing by storm. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Andrew Campbell had it 96-94, red corner Graf. Judge Frank Hanley had it 96-94. Judge Samantha Bullner, 96-95. Your winner by split points, blue corner, Susie Q. Ramadan.
A split points winner, Susie Q. Ramadan, and the team, including families, celebrate. Alecia Graf, disappointed, walks back to the dressing rooms, and it's a lonely old walk. The hardware on. The hardware on Susie Q, and a world title shot awaits. That is our semi-main event. Our main event still to come on Friday Night Fights for the Australian middleweight title. The champion, Johannes Mwetupunga, and the challenger, Jarrod Fletcher. That's next on Friday Night Fights. It's a hard act to follow, our semi-main event. Susie Ramadan, split decision victor over Alecia Graf in a world title eliminator. Two elite female athletes doing their thing on Australia's sports leader, Fox Sports. A full house here at Melbourne's Pavilion, our second live domestic show for 2012. Our main event is for the Australian Middleweight Championship, a championship we've seen defended on Fox Sports over our 18 years on several different occasions. Let's take a look at some of the past title holders of the Australian middleweight belt, and it reads like a who's who. More recently, guys like Junior Talapau and Daniel Dawson. You go back half an era, I guess, and there's names like Adam Vella, Saki Obika, John Wayne Parr, the kickboxing legend. Ian McLeod is there as well. Darren Obar and Nader Hamden. You won't find two any tougher than that pair. Mark Bajero and Ernie Artango. Just 10 of the title holders. The Australian 160-pound belt. An incredible place to watch boxing here at the Pavilion. Your own VIP suite. Doing it in style. Hope you're enjoying your lounge room. Tonight's VIP suite on Friday Night Fights, and this is our main event for the national title. Jarrod Fletcher is the challenger, the former amateur superstar from Brisbane, Queensland. 10 fights, 10 wins, 7 inside the distance. The champion, Johannes Mwetupunga, originally from Namibia, now based in Ivanhoe, Victoria. 13 fights, 11 victories, and 5 inside the distance. Mwetupunga, 7 years the senior, just the 1 centimetre in height and reach. Absolutely nothing on the scales. It is main event time on Friday Night Fights. Let's get the boys out. Let's go to Howard Lee.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event is main event time at the Melbourne Pavilion. Middleweight Championship of Australia up for grabs. Would you welcome in the red corner, the challenger, Jarrod, left. Welcome in the blue corner, the champion, Johannes Tito. Ladies and gentlemen, main event time at the Melbourne Pavilion. Brian Amateur to Barry Michael Sports Simmons Homes, 26th big promotion, proudly brought to you by Brian Amateur, Barry Michael and Simmons Homes. 10 rounds of boxing for the middleweight championship of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rock? Are you ready to box? We certainly are. Introducing first in the red corner, the challenger. Born in Maui, Victoria, now living in Hendra, Brisbane, Queensland. Coaching team Steve Della, John Burke, Fortitude, Jim Valley, Queensland. In amateur boxing, a decorated career, 182 fights, 150 wins. He won gold Melbourne Commonwealth Games, represented his nation, Beijing Olympics. In professional boxing, he brings to centre ring a perfect 10 out of 10, 7 by knockout. Ranked #1 contender, Ray Wheatley's World of Boxing at 72.20 kilograms. Blue trunks, white trim with a touch of red. Challenger, Jarrod, left jab, Fletcher. And across the ring in the blue corner with Johnny the Boxer, his head coach from the African country of Namibia, now living in the prestige Melbourne suburb of Ivanhoe, all-African amateur champion in professional boxing. 13 fights, 11 wins, 2 losses, 5 inside the distance at 72.15 kilograms. Tonight making the 5th defence of his middleweight championship. The reigning and defending middleweight champion of Australia. Red trunks with black and white. Would you welcome Johannes Tito Mwetupunga. Referee Muckable, the judges Samantha Bullner, Andrew Campbell, Ignatius Misselaitis. Ringside physician Dr. Peter Lewis, timekeeper Chris and Tom. Here we go, Malcolm. Main event.
Welcome to centering, gentlemen. I want a nice, clean fight. Obey my instructions at all times. Good luck to both your fighters. You can go back to your corners and come and fight near the bell. Good luck.
Tension high, as it should be, for the national middleweight title. All Aussie titles contested over 10 3-minute rounds. That is the case tonight for the 72.57 kilogram or 160 pound or 11 stone 6 middleweight title. Jarrod Fletcher out of the red corner in blue. Johannes Mwetupunga out of the blue corner in red. Mwetupunga is the champion after defeating Jason Hartman via knockout at the Mansfield Tavern in March of 2010. This is title defence number 5 already. Points wins over Will Hadlow, Kurt Barham, Peter Matrevsky, and an 8th round KO, most recently of Omar Sheikh. That was in April 2011, and the last time that Tito Mwetupunga was inside a professional ring. Is ring rust an issue? We will find out over the course of the next 30 minutes. Fletcher in the blue and white, Mwetupunga in the red. Two right hand or orthodox fighters. Chris Mwetupunga physically a very big, very strong middleweight. Yeah, he's like a brick wall, hard to dent, and he's always in front of you. And Fletcher's got to take advantage of that. He's got to use his feet. Most of Fletcher's work will be done with his left hand. Super fast. Combinations will mix up and down, and he's got to do exactly what he's doing. Keep moving Mwetupunga around. Mwetupunga, on the other hand, well, we haven't seen Fletcher in with someone like Tito with that same with that size and strength. So Mwetupunga's got to try and put Fletcher on the back foot. See what he can do from the back foot under that physical size and pressure from Mwetupunga. Jarrod has 7 KOs in 10 victories, however not regarded as such as a knockout artist. I was speaking to the Cobra, Israel Kane from the Noosa box office gym during the week. It said having sparred a lot of the junior, middle and super middleweights around Australia, as far as speed goes, Jarrod Fletcher is at the top of the tree. A huge endorsement when you think of some of the fighters in and around those divisions over the course of the last 8 years. Yeah, very fast hands, and more so in combinations. You'll see as this fight moves on in, to the 3rd and 4th round, and you'll see the combinations Fletcher puts together. Very fast hands. 2006 Commonwealth Games gold medalist, represented Australia as the boxing team captain at the Beijing Olympics. Mwetupunga was also at those 2006 Commonwealth Games. Very different story though in the professional ranks. At those 06 games, Fletcher beat James DeGale. Yep. 2 years later, DeGale wins the Olympic gold medalist. Also, Fletcher, leading into those Olympic games, beat the Cuban fighter that DeGale beat him, who was a world champion himself. So Fletcher's certainly been in with some of the best fighters in the country as an amateur. Let's see what he can do as a pro. The world. A conservative, a cautious start. Ooh, as Tito looks to fire off that crippling right hand. And there is some power behind that as Fletcher goes to the body initially. Mwetupunga tried to counter over that lead shoulder of the man they call left jab. One in the books.
You've done it easy. Okay? How you feeling? Good. Okay? Now your left leg, stick it out. Want the left leg out. Yeah? Now watch his right. Throw more punches. Then double up with a jab. Alright? Put some pressure. And then the other, the top will come later. Alright? Put some pressure. Don't give him too much respect. Okay? And he's dropping his left hand. Just keep an eye on it. He's always dropping it. Not yet. Not yet. But you've got to stay on your toes. Stay on your toes and cut the angles. Cut the gap. When he's going this way, when he's going that way, it's right hand. Okay? We're doing that training. Right.
Second house, my coach. Round 2.
Round number 2 coming your way on Friday Night Fights. This is our main event. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. We are back on your screens Friday, March 23rd with a national title, 3 state titles on the undercard. A huge night from Brisbane. Lock that one away in your eye, Cal. And join us again. Fletcher trying to lock down that centre ring position. Easier said than done against a guy like Mwetupunga, who is on a 9-fight win streak.
Fletcher's doing the right thing this round, moving around, hands are up nice and high. The end of the first round, his hands dropped a little bit too low. You can't do that with Mwetupunga. Good jab from Fletcher.
Reflexes there from Mwetupunga as far as his defence is concerned. Both guys with great hand-eye coordination, which is, I guess, a given when you get to this level of your craft.
That's right, and as we've said a bit tonight, both guys experienced amateurs, so they've already got that under their belt. Now learning their craft, as you said, as pros. I think Tito's got to try back Fletcher up a little bit more. He's just letting Fletcher move around. Yeah, we got 10 rounds, but won't hurt getting behind that jab a few times and doubling, tripling it up, back him up to the ropes.
Doubling up the left hand is Mwetupunga. Debut back in March 2007 in his homeland of Namibia.
Probably the best punch of the fight so far. Right hand from Tito.
Both corners identical throughout the round. There's no instructions being yelled, being screamed. Both very composed. Both letting the athletes feel their way. Over the top with the right hand comes Mwetupunga in the red trunks. Tries to go around the gloves there, but strong upper body triangle from Fletcher.
Jarrod's got to be careful at the moment. He's just popping the punches out there. He's not punching through the punch. Good left hook from Fletcher, and the boys' heads come together. But he's got to put a bit more force behind that.
Back to the corners they go. Fletcher's cut high on the forehead, or is it it's to the side? Oh, it's a beauty too. It's a bad cut, but the positioning's good.
Here's how, that's the right hand from Mwetupunga. That's what Fletcher's got to be careful of. He's got to keep that left hand up. We'll have a look at how that cut came through. Oh, big head clash.
Dr. Peter Lewis has been centering. Check out the cut on Jarrod Fletcher. Dr. Lewis has been in and around the industry of all combat sports actually for a long, long time. An opinion that's widely respected and admired, and he said, no, fight on. I've got no problems. And that's not necessarily the size of the cut, that's an advertisement for the argument in positioning of the cut.
Oh, nice slip from Jarrod Fletcher. And his best moments of the fight as he backs up Tito Mwetupunga.
Look at these hands from Jarrod Fletcher.
Come on. Come on, don't hang in there. Box.
Tito goes, okay, this is a new guy, round number 3. Where was he the first 2 rounds?
Just warming up, getting the sweat going, getting the blood flowing. Good counter right hand from Mwetupunga.
3 rounds into our main event.
Both extremely fit guys, in great shape.
Yeah, they've left nothing in the gym, have they?
Certainly. Good sparring too. Jarrod Fletcher sparring with Les Sherrington, and Tito Mwetupunga down sparring with Daniel Gill. You can't get much better than that.
Yep. with Daniel Gill, Trent Broadhurst amongst others, as Daniel prepares for his IBF middleweight title defence in Tasmania on March 7 that we've spoken about tonight against Adama. And a huge night in Aussie boxing with dual IBF titles on the line. Both guys with a one-shot score. Fletcher backs away nicely, then swivels the hips to get back into fighting stance, if you want to put it as simply as that. Minute remaining in the third.
I just can't get over the size of Tito Mwetupunga as a middleweight.
Weighed in right on 72.15 kilos, so almost half a kilo underweight. Would be sitting at more than 72.15 tonight. Is probably at 75.5, maybe 76 kilos, or every bit of it actually.
Definitely. As would Jarrod Fletcher. He comes down quite a bit as well. He's always in great shape, Fletcher, never out of shape. But cuts down a bit to get to middleweight. He's a good size middleweight.
He's very short on his feet, Jarrod Fletcher. There's no outrageous movement of the legs. A good swivel of the hips, and he uses that as his defensive strategy more times than not, just to get out of the way. On the undercard of Leopai Wilson, a Fox Sports card, this is a young Jarrod Fletcher on debut in June of 2009 with a fourth-round TKO victory over the very durable local Southeast Queensland athlete Ryan Copping. With Fletcher on that night was a class above. Will he be tonight? Round number 4 commences. The Aussie middleweight strap. Jarrod's last fight was October of last year, a 10-round points victory at Hervey Bay in Queensland over hardcore Will Hadlow.
Now Will Hadlow in the stable of Team Fletcher and Fortitude Boxing Gym. Moved up from the Gold Coast and lives at West End now. Teamed up with one of his former opponents, did Will Hadlow.
Can't emphasise enough that this is a big step up in class for Jarrod Fletcher. A massive step up in class. So to Jarrod and to Stevie Della, his trainer and principal, I say well done, because they've jumped in the deep end of the pool here.
Yeah, I like it. You know, Jarrod Fletcher has been a talent for many, many years, amateur and pro, and this is what we want to see. We want to get in there and see what he's got. If he's up with these guys, see him move on to the next stage. Improve himself tonight, hopefully, for his camp. But one man stand in front of him, he'll try and prove different. Tito Mwetupunga.
Comes from a very talented boxing family. His brothers Glenn and Robbie were also national amateur champs, trained by Dad for many, many years, from about the age of 9 or 10.
And great to see his dad Dave in the corner tonight, come down from Hervey Bay. So it's here for his son's first Australian title fight. Speaking of dads, Jarrod recently become a dad to son Ryder. New path in his life.
Fletcher resets here, forced to do so again. He's going to be forced to do so a lot over the next 6 rounds, because that is just the nature of Johannes Mwetupunga.
And it's what Jarrod has to do. He can't, as he catches Mwetupunga with a good right hand. He can't stand in front of him. He just needs to keep working off those angles and make the bigger, stronger, but maybe a bit slower Mwetupunga chase him around, find him exactly like that. Fletcher's got to jump on him when he misses. Machine gun left from Mwetupunga. Yeah, it was a good one. 3 of them in a blink of an eye. Ooh, they were quick fire. A little loose there was Fletcher with that leading left. Yeah, I think he's just got to concentrate a little bit more on his defence. One thing you can't do is underestimate Tito Mwetupunga. Never think you've got him in the bag. Endurance shouldn't be an issue for Tito. On 6 occasions, he has been scheduled to go 10 rounds. He has a 5-1 record when it has gone the distance. We spoke earlier about Will Hadlow. Well, that's one of the 2 losses on the career resume of this man, the champion, Johannes Mwetupunga. Early doors. Also Luke Maloney on that loss record, and in that, Tito Mwetupunga turned that loss around on Will Hadlow. We talk about speed. Here's some of it from Jarrod Fletcher. Lightning right hand from Fletcher as he moves out of danger. He's got the ability to be able to throw the hands irrespective of which way the feet are going and which direction the body's going. One thing Jarrod Fletcher does good, he's a great body puncher. We haven't seen that yet. He's still doing what he needs to do on Mwetupunga. But if they stand flat in there or Mwetupunga stays there for him, Fletcher's got great body attack. Maybe, not that I think he'll hurt Mwetupunga. Maybe there was the exact reason that Jarrod hasn't changed levels to go down low. He started the round by trying to dig the jab into the midsection, and Mwetupunga very clearly and easily was able to come over the top of that with his fast reflexes. He caught Jarrod. And I give Tito and his team credit for that, because they've been looking for that from round 1. They know Fletcher's left hand finishes quite low at times. They've been trying to catch him over the top with that right hand. Fletcher in and out very quickly, trying to do the damage and then get back on the outside. There's an exhibition and an illustration of speed. Minute into round number 5. The kids are still playing in centre ring like it's the opening minute of round number 1. Nice right hand again, identical to the 4th round from Jarrod Fletcher. Nice slip. Look at Mwetupunga now, just limiting where and what Jarrod can do simply by applying pressure. Great right hand on the inside from Fletcher. And he moved away, stopped, bang, caught Mwetupunga on the way in. Planted the feet, Jarrod Fletcher, one of the better punchers of the fight. Straight hand again from Fletcher, getting through the defences. That's good to see him using that right hand. He's had a lot of problems with his shoulders, Jarrod Fletcher. Didn't used to use his right hand very much at all, really. And this fight so far, he's been firing it like a gun. Mwetupunga's got to be careful. Don't let this fight get away. I think a little bit more pressure is needed from Tito. He's got to put Jarrod under pressure. You see Jarrod just moving around. He can go where he wants, even though Tito's cutting him off at times. But he's in no danger when he's moving. Tito's got to rough it up. Mwetupunga looking for the long right hand as Fletcher gets in with the right and then moves again. Having good success with that as he's moving around.
rounds for the middleweight championship of Australia.
When you do it in the summer, you're picking up the price of the
Have a look at Tito Mwetupunga stalking, chasing Jarrod Fletcher around the ring. Fletcher props, drops the right hand down the middle.
Round 6.
We'll see the right hand from Fletcher on the button. Good footwork from Jarrod Fletcher.
We move into the second half of this fight for the Australian middleweight title. Jarrod Fletcher in the blue. He is the challenger. Johannes Mwetupunga in the red. The champion. Title defence number 5. They started the card with a cruiserweight war and an upset where the previously undefeated Kane was defeated by Oscar Siale. Rising star Rocky Jerkic. Outgunned.
Wasn't he? He is a real prospect, Rocky Jerkic.
Very good over Dinesh Kanth. The girls in the WBC World Title Eliminator, Alecia Graf and Susie Ramadan. They turned on a classic. And it was Ramadan by split points decision, which brings us to our main event. Oh, nice right hand from Mwetupunga.
That's what we're talking about earlier. That's the second right hand Mwetupunga's landed this round. Fletcher's got to be careful. He's sliding into that right hand of Mwetupunga's. There it is again from Mwetupunga as Fletcher gets one back, a left hand of his own.
Sweat off the head of the champion. Sprayed, I think, probably the first 2 or 3 rows from that speedy shot from Jarrod Fletcher. Nice slip from Fletcher.
Nice work. As a trainer, obviously Omar Sheikh when he fought Tito Mwetupunga, this is when I noticed a change starting to happen. Round number 6, the end of round 5, Omar started relying on his eye too much and Mwetupunga was just missing. All of a sudden it wasn't going to miss and Jarrod Fletcher's got to be careful he doesn't make that same mistake as he lands a solid right hand Fletcher.
Inside the final minute of the 6th round.
Oh, Fletcher's been tagged.
A big right hand from Mwetupunga. One of his better shots of the fight. I was just about to say is ring rust, the fact that Tito hasn't fought professionally since April of last year. 10 months. Is that going to be a factor? But at the moment, you would suggest not.
This has been Tito's better round since round number 2. But, you know, he's obviously in great shape all the time, Tito Mwetupunga. As Fletcher lands a great right hand down the middle again.
Final 10 seconds of the round. Fletcher getting himself out of the onslaught there. Launches a nice counter. And back to the corners we go again.
Round 6 is now.
Let's take a look at the middleweight rankings as they stood at the beginning of the month. And this is champion v number 1. As simple as that. As it should be too. Omar Sheikh is there. Robbie Bryant. Garth Wood. Dwight Ritchie. And Leroy Brown. Isn't there some fights there that we'd love to see? The champion and the number 1 contender doing their thing tonight.
Round 7.
Moving into round number 7 here. 35-year-old Tito Mwetupunga, whose corner has been asked just to tidy up a little. Too much water in the corner. Fletcher backing out of the way. Mwetupunga just doesn't give you, or rarely gives you, the chance to take centre ring and to push him onto the back foot.
He's big enough. He takes the whole thing up anyway, Mwetupunga.
Look where the gloves are of Tito now. They are high. Whereas at times the hands of Jarrod Fletcher just dropped a little.
It seems to happen later in the round from Jarrod Fletcher. Usually starts pretty high, then later in the round they come down a little.
These guys are into round number 7. If you're watching and you're not a regular on Fox Sports Friday Night Fights, I hope you're enjoying your look at the best of the domestic product, and I hope you're getting an appreciation of just how difficult this game is. Head out to your local gym and try and punch the heavy bag for 3 minutes. That's painful enough.
That's right.
And the bag doesn't hit back.
And when you've got two guys as fit and as big as this chasing after you, it doesn't get any funner. Les Wilson, the cut man in the corner of Jarrod Fletcher, has done an absolute great job on the left-hand side of the head of Jarrod Fletcher.
Yeah, a huge opening appeared on Jarrod Fletcher from a head clash, round 2 or 3. And they've stemmed the flow of blood nicely. Wonderful upper body movement. And again, it was the hips that were the key.
That's good. Fletcher's not letting Tito get set.
We've got two just natural athletes, two guys that would have been good at any sport. Blessed with that wonderful hand-eye coordination. It's almost as though they've got a little bit of extra time. It comes easily.
When you have the amount of amateur experience that these guys have had, certainly learn your craft.
Counting down the seconds in round number 7. Fletcher over the top, and that was the receipt, the intended receipt from Mwetupunga. Nicely rolled through by Fletcher. Take a look at the last title defence of Johannes Mwetupunga, who was down in round number 4 and was being, I wouldn't say schooled, but beaten, I thought, by Omar Sheikh, and that was the opinion of many. However, in between round, inspirational chat from Dave Hedgecock, and this is what happened in round number 8. This guy has got the goods to still punch, and punch with power late in the fight. We continue on. It is round number 8. 8 of 10. If you're a fan of the middleweights, don't forget Wednesday, March 7, main event television, Fox Sports venues. If your local's not showing it, you ring them and ask them why. Tell them you want it. 2 IBF titles on the one show. Amazing. Daniel Gill, Billy Dibb, they are headlining from Tasmania. Main event boxing coming your way. When Fletcher circles around to his left, there is always the danger that right hand of Mwetupunga, cocked and waiting. Again, Jarrod just shuffles left, drops the shoulder. Gee, you've got to be confident in your speed and your ability to duck in a little low and drop the shoulder against Mwetupunga.
Both guys are all good right hand from Fletcher, good speed. Neither guy marked up whatsoever. You just see that cut for the first time, just starting to flow a little bit in Jarrod Fletcher's head. Oh, nice right hand again from Fletcher.
Fabulous right hand from Fletcher. Another punch with authority from the challenger. High pace, high energy, high work rate. High in class, basically, these two athletes. A minute remaining, round number 8.
Ooh. He'll be getting frustrated, even though he doesn't show it, Tito Mwetupunga, but he just can't find Jarrod Fletcher at the moment. Oh, the heads bump together again.
Hands up, hands up. Kickboxing, Fletcher, got it the whole time to the ball. Kickboxing.
Good up and down work from Jarrod Fletcher.
Changing levels beautifully. Now you see, now you don't. Jarrod Fletcher moving here, there and everywhere.
The Houdini act.
We know there's plenty of you out there. For you UFC fans, reading a press release from Fox Sports today, they have secured exclusive rights to broadcast UFC Sydney. Alvarez versus Kampman. Fuel TV. The first time in Australia in a groundbreaking agreement. It will be live. Hope you can join us for that. Undercard featuring some Aussies and a massive main event. That is Saturday, March 3, live from 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
Seconds out, round 9. Schedule for 10. Come on, let's raise the roof. Middleweight championship on the line.
Penultimate round, Fletcher with the left hand.
This time running out for Tito Mwetupunga.
Championship rounds. Fletcher in the blue, Mwetupunga in the red. We started our 2012 calendar year last Friday night on the Gold Coast, where Daniel Lamar upset Moston Neiman to become the Australian Cruiserweight Champion. And Lucas Brown defeated Colin Wilson to become the new Australian Heavyweight Champion.
Will we see a new one here tonight, or will we see the reigning Australian Champion Tito Mwetupunga?
Mwetupunga doubling up the left hand on his way into the Queenslander. Both firing off the left hands halfway through round number 9.
Oh, good right hand from Fletcher.
Firing away again was Mwetupunga from that centre ring position.
Again, Fletcher, good footwork, catching out Mwetupunga.
Gee, that's good handiwork from Jarrod Fletcher again. Comes over the top of the left hook there, Jarrod Fletcher.
Tito's got to, you know, take some chances now. He's got to put the double or the triple on that jab, get inside, even if it's straight to the body. The body doesn't move as much as the head. Might get him inside where he can land those hooks in the right hands. Fletcher will see those singles all day long. Fletcher just moving Mwetupunga around as he catches Tito with a good left hook.
Win. You listening? What are you going to do? You give it all, mate. You're the champion. Mate, you've got to throw all the punches. You've got to stop him. Alright? Stop moving on. Stay on your toes and keep the pressure. Get close to it. And throw the punches, buddy. You've got to keep throwing punches. You're fit enough to throw the punches. Don't give him room. Close the gap. Cut the angles. Throw the punches. Don't knock him out, see? You don't knock him out, you lose. Yeah. See? Let's go.
Johannes Mwetupunga, Omar Sheikh most recently, Peter Matrevsky Jr., Kurt Barham, Will Hadlow. They are his 4 title defences after winning the title from Jason Hartman back in March 2010. His title defence number 5 going to end with a smile or a tear, perhaps, for Johannes Mwetupunga.
The urgency's in his corner, telling them he's way behind on the cards. He's got to knock out Jarrod Fletcher. Easier said than done. He is hard to find.
The left hand from Mwetupunga there. There's the receipt from Fletcher, and fires a single shot right.
Great angles on Jarrod Fletcher as he catches Mwetupunga with the right hand again.
Oh, a warning there from Malcolm Bullner. Maybe a timely one for Jarrod Fletcher, who may well have been just stung a little bit with the left hand, and a good right hand from Mwetupunga as well. One of the most highly anticipated local matchups in quite some time. Jarrod Fletcher, Johannes Mwetupunga. Oh! Left hand whistled through. And Fletcher fires his right. Both guys only scoring with 1-punch shots.
Tito, I think he'd like to score with more. He just can't find Jarrod Fletcher.
It's a bit that way for both guys. Mwetupunga, he is head-hunting with 70 seconds remaining of the round, of the fight, and potentially of his hold on the championship.
Through this round number 10, Jarrod Fletcher bouncing around like he wants to do more. Tito Mwetupunga stalking him like he can do more.
Countdown is on. Does Fletcher need to stand and trade?
Certainly not at this stage of the fight. Hasn't done it for 9.5 rounds.
Why start now? 30 seconds remaining. Mwetupunga pushed back by Fletcher. Just out of range there was the Queenslander, because Tito is still desperate to finish it, and the champion gets rocked back. 30 minutes of Australian middleweight title action here live on Fox Sports. title defence number 5 for Johannes Mwetupunga. But have we a new champion? As Jarrod Fletcher, the amateur superstar, claimed professional gold.
We've got a guest presenter, Gary Simmons. Gary, come on down for the presentation. Gary, the middleweight championship belt. Mark Simmons. Got Gary, Mark.
Body language normally a pretty good indicator. Jarrod Fletcher, Stella, firing through from the Fortitude Gym in the Valley in Queensland. They look confident, they look comfortable, they're happy.
Plenty of support here too for Team Fletcher and the Fortitude Boxing Gym.
Yep. He's a former Victorian, so there's plenty of old friends that have come to see their mate do his thing.
The 10th and final round. We saw Jarrod Fletcher take a few more chances with Mwetupunga.
High quality middleweight matchup.
Don't go away because Brian Armatruda, Barry Michael, thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to give away a couple of copies of World of Boxing.
And it's all smiles in the challenger's corner. They know they've done enough. What's coming up in Aussie boxing? Let's take a look. Friday Night Fights returns. The Australian super middleweight title is the main event. Omar Sheikh, Michael Van Nimwegen. Friday the 23rd of March.
Andrew Campbell, a bigger margin, 98-92. Final card, Samantha Mulder, 97-93. Would you congratulate the new Australian middleweight champion, Jarrod Fletcher.
Jarrod Fletcher victorious. He is the new Australian middleweight champion. Congratulations to both men, both camps, for how they handled it. Let's take a look at what has been an action-packed night. Let's recap Oscar Siale, victorious over Kane Watts. An upset at cruiserweight. Rocky Jerkic defeated the big banger, Dinesh Kanth, and he did it, Chris, in style.
Didn't he? What? He's a real future star, and they talk about the boxing skills of Jerkic, but he showed the power tonight.
He certainly did. 3 fights, 3 wins, now 2 inside the distance. Susie Ramadan moved 1 step closer to a world title. Victory over Alecia Graf by split points decision. That was our semi-main event. And our main event, we have a new Australian middleweight champion. His name is Jarrod Left Jab Fletcher, who is defeated Johannes Mwetupunga by unanimous points decision. On 2 of the 3 scorecards, he did it and did it easy. For you middleweight fans, plenty coming your way. Daniel Gill, the IBF middleweight champion of the world, the #1 man, makes title defence #2 on an all-star cast from the Derwent Entertainment Centre in Hobart, live from 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, March the 7th. Main Event TV and Fox Sports venues, the 2 places you can see the action. Huge card with Daniel Gill, Billy Dibb, and a whole lot more. Our second show of 2012 on Fox Sports Friday Night Fights, and we had a little bit of everything and a little bit for everyone. The cruiserweights did their thing. The next generation, Rocky Jerkic, flew their flag. The girls were superb. They turned on a beauty, and we have a new Australian middleweight champion. We hope you've enjoyed all the action. We look forward to catching you next time ringside when we return with Friday Night Fights.